You are live with Dr. Chapa. Good morning, good day, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. I am excited that you are here with us tonight. And let me just tell you why. I've been in practice for over 21 years. I've been a student of this work for 25 plus years, and I have seen and dealt with a lot of issues. But I wanted to start tonight with just a message that where I started on my health and wellness journey. I remember walking down the hall, and I remember a guy coming and saying, guys, into our kind of class, group, you guys are stressed out. Y'all are freaking out about finals and tests, and you're sucking down energy drinks. You're setting yourself up for failure. Your adrenal glands can't keep up with the day-to-day. They can't keep up with the stress of the school at a doctorate level where we're doing between 28 and 34 hours a trimester. Fascinating. Well, none of us listened. And many people were on these artificial rocket fuel stimulants, and their body was malfunctioning and wearing out. And I remember going to my first seminar, and they asked for any volunteers to come up on stage to do a demonstration on adrenal stress. Lo and behold, I raised my hand as a good student, want to be a good subject and kind of learn something new, and I was willing to be the guinea pig. And lo and behold, the guy, I was the butt of the joke. He goes, ha, 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 look at all these tests that this guy's showing adrenal fatigue. And I thought I was a healthy guy. I mean, I was exercising. I was eating as best as I could. I mean, stir fries. I was on a college budget, and I was not probably... I was ignorant to what real food is, didn't realize how crappy canola oil is, didn't understand, that a lot of the sauces and spices in the packs are laced with all kinds of preservatives and chemicals. And don't judge me. This was 26 years ago. I guarantee you were doing the same thing. You know what I mean? But the reality is I learned and I grew and I got a message, and I went back to school and I found that guy and I said, all right, I'm ready. What do I do to maintain and strengthen the adrenals that you're doing that's helped you get through the different trimesters and the challenges? And what did he show me? He taught me how to navigate the adrenal stress fatigue of life and life's challenges and stresses through supplementation, through good protein breakfast, good starting my day right to end it right mentality. Why is this so important? Because so often we just need to be educated. The G.I. Joes in the 1980s used to say, knowing is half the battle. And I want to teach you so that you know half the battle. And now all you got to do is apply the message and get the other half in your favor. That is exciting because you and me, we are seeing people on the what we call the accelerated aging curve of life. Their body's wearing out. They have symptom patterns. They're crashing and burning midday. They're sucking down energy drinks. They're looking for stimulants. They can't sleep good at night. They're constantly under the strain of busy, being under Satan's yoke, and their body can't keep up. No one was designed to run at that speed. Can I get an amen? Somebody drops little comments in the comments. Little amen action would be great. Hey, it's okay. That's why you're here. That's why you're tuned in. That's why we want to teach you. It isn't just because your body is malfunctioning. It's because that life is pressing on you and it's wearing you out faster than your body can repair itself and maintain. So tonight, our message is, why are you so tired? And why are you running on empty? I want you to know that you don't have to run on empty anymore. So go to drchapawellness.com. We got all kinds of resources and tools each and every week to teach you how to live better, be better, and stay better one bite at a time. So I'm very pleased to present tonight a little message about health and healing one bite at a time. So why are you running on empty? Well, your adrenal glands are the first gland presented to your body in utero. Very cool organ system here. And glandular system here. And you cannot live without these guys. They are the first gland developed. This is where the hormonal chain begins, whether stress hormones or sex hormone balance as we go through life and life's challenges. So if you're sleepy, and you still wake up exhausted, if you're sucking down coffee, stimulants, rocket fuel, like I like to say, and you still feel dragging by mid afternoon, odds are your adrenals are malfunctioned. They're malfunctioned because of overstimulation and not enough restoration, recovery, and repair. That's where we want to get into tonight's message. We want to talk about the mitochondria. We want to talk about consistency of habits that you can put into your day in and day out, in order to rest well so that your body can perform well. Doesn't that sound good? So, without further ado, we're going to dive on in, and I'm excited that you're tuned in with Dr. Chapa on the Dr. Chapa Wellness Show. So, this is exciting times. I'm excited to be here with you tonight. Fatigue, though, guys, is not normal. Have you ever felt like your brain was on fire? Have you ever felt that chaos in the mind, like that brain there just looks like it's just running in circles on the hamster wheel, sucking down coffee late at night, wondering, oh, am I going to make it? Am I going to hit the deadline? I can't think straight. My brain hurts. My body's not performing. I just want to go to bed. I just want to lay down. I just need I just need some sleep. And the reality is, yes, you do. The average American right now is not getting good quality sleep. When you look at heart rate variability, you see people struggling to get a good score on rest and recovery. Heart rate variability is just a metrics that you can look at on a we have a sleep aid, so my sleep aid measures that. I have, I've used the Whoop before, and it measures that. I've got the Apple Watch, and I've used it to measure that. And so you have all these tools in our society today, over the Oura Rings, to help manage your sleep matrix. But I don't want you to get so caught up in measuring your heart rate variability that you can't think about anything else. Remember, there's more than one way to look at your body. For example, orthostatic hypertension tests. In my office, I'll do these tests in my office to measure how a person's functioning lying to standing. So if you do a blood pressure test lying down, and then you do a blood pressure test standing up with a cuff on your arm, and the top number, the bottom number, and the pulse do not go up 8 to 10 points, it's an indicator that your body is indeed stressed. And so I really have to always encourage people to measure their stresses. Then we have stress reflexes all throughout our body, and we can determine if the nervous system's malfunctioning, or is it a organ or gland that's dysfunctioned. Maybe your body's being burdened, attacked in one area of the body that is creating distraction, and your body can't cellularly communicate with itself. So what could it be, right? But what people don't wake up going, well, I'm being attacked by bugs today. What do they say? I wake up feeling tired. I'm so tired I can't get through the day without rocket fuel. I crash 2 to 3 in the afternoon. My brain is foggy. I can't remember why I walked into the room, and where's the coffee? Why isn't the coffee hot? And why do I get this surge of energy at night? They call that the wired and tired philosophy. The fatigue button isn't a personality flaw. It's just your physiology giving you check engine lights. The question is, are you paying attention? So this is why we do these classes, guys, so that you can start asking yourself, what's working, what's not working in my body. So your energy comes from two main systems in the body: your adrenal glands and your mitochondria. Well, I guess we should throw in a third one: fuel. You got to eat right. I guess we should throw in a fourth one: hydration. As I'm sitting here thinking about it, we should probably throw in a fifth one: good sleep. So there's a lot of activity that generate and drive energy in our body. But there are 38 trillion cells in your body, and the mitochondria have a place in every one of those cells to produce this cool stuff called ATP, adenosine triphosphate. So what does adenosine triphosphate do? It's basically how the body exchanges in the marketplace and buys energy. So we want to strengthen the body and give the body what it needs day in and day out through these energy pathways. But ATP, if it is low, the cells don't communicate well with each other, and it leaves you wanting what? Better sleep, wanting more energy, more mental clarity, more resolve. How are you going to get through your day if your body's not performing at its best? Well, that's where we step in and repair the mitochondria. This is where we get you eating right, starting your day right. This is where we take inflammation out of the diet. This is where we strengthen the body so that your body can perform better, help you with stress management processes so that your adrenal glands perform like they're supposed to. This is all a part of the daily practices, the daily rhythms that we're supposed to be getting into day in and day out. Most people do not have good healthy rhythms. They're just flying by the seat of their pants, hoping that everything works out. If either of these systems struggle, you're feeling drained. You're not going to recover well. Your body's not going to perform well, I promise. And so you'll be just like us students trying to figure out how to get through the day to day. So, without further ado, what do your adrenal glands like produce? Like where do they live? They live on top of your kidneys. That's those little teepees that you see here in the picture. So those big, kidney bean sized structures are your kidneys, and then the little teepees on top are the adrenal glands. Again, you cannot live without them. They produce cortisol, adrenaline, DHEA. They help your body wake up in the morning. They help your body manage and handle stress, regulate blood sugar, fight inflammation. And when your adrenal system is overloaded, your body feels drained. It feels like it doesn't recover. It feels a day late and a dollar short. That is what we're trying to prevent and teach you a better way. So chronic stress, and we live in a society today where we are busy, 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 being under Satan's yoke 24/7, 7 days a week. Most people do not rest well, nor do they know how to take a Sabbath. And this is something God's really been working on me over. And I'm really trying to rest better in how I think and how I recover. And this is physiological and mental recovery processes. So, a quick little tip, the REST acronym that I like to live by: reflect, evaluate, Sabbath, take action. When you reflect at the end of a day, or at the end of a week, or the end of a month, or the end of a year, and you look back on all the wins and accomplishments that you've attained, and you don't focus on the negatives, you focus on the processes, the progress that you've made up till now. That's good, healthy reflection that channels energy to your cells to say, hey, I got this. I can exponentially go onward, upward, goodward, and Godward. The E, evaluate. Are you evaluating how you're feeling? This might be new information to you where you go, I didn't know that surge of energy that I have at nighttime is a indicator light that my system may be stressed. That blood pressure maybe you didn't realize is an indicator. You waking up in the middle of the night and staring at the ceiling is an indicator. So people don't know how to evaluate their body. And so deciding what is actually essential day in and day out helps you evaluate what you need to do to take better care of yourself versus just simply checking boxes and going through the busy. Sabbath, taking a complete break from productivity. Wow, that's a cool idea. You know, does that mean only, being productive and just sitting on the couch watching TV? No, sometimes it's just sitting outside staring into the wild blue yonder. That's sitting on a beach and chilling, getting on a phone call with a loved one and just talking a bit, chilling and hanging out. I was reading this book called A Jesus Driven Ministry, or Christ Centered Ministry. I think it's Jesus Driven Ministry. And it was by Jeeth Fernando, and he's a missionary in Sri Lanka. And he says he's come to appreciate one of the most favorite parts of ministry is learning how to just be with people. Just be with people with no real expectation that he's trying to sell them on the gospel or have an agenda with people. He's just enjoying creation with people. How often do we do that? That is a form of Sabbath, by the way. Taking a break from heavy productivity and checking boxes and our minds running, on the hamster wheel day in and day out. Taking action, returning to work with a clear, calm mind. Well, that's a much better way to go through your day, and that might come through Thanksgiving. That could be your T. Maybe you thank God for what He's already done. Maybe you give a little pat on your own back that your body has kept up this past year. These are just good, healthy practices that will help you regulate just how you sleep or how you handle stress or how you regulate your blood sugar. It is fascinating to see what we are capable of if we rest well. So, run that reflection rest protocol and see how it feels. Signs your adrenals are just flat out burned out. You crave salt, you crave sugar. Afternoon crashes, poor stress tolerance, meaning your bandwidth is very small. We don't need a limited fuse, guys. We need to be like dialed in, checked in, processing well information day in and day out. So if you have poor stress tolerance and you feel like on a 0 to 10 scale, you're a 7, 8, 9, or a 10, which means you're nervous, anxious, frustrated, agitated, irritated, or overwhelmed to the point of panic and exhaustion, then you have adrenal fatigue. And that means your adrenal glands are maydaying for help. SOS. Stop and smell the roses. You've got to chill out. You've got to calm the system, cool your jets, make sure that you get this right. Because if you don't, stress plus no recovery leads to adrenal dysfunction. And what I say earlier, you cannot live without your adrenal glands. So the mitochondria, 38 trillion cells in the body. Your energy factories, remember back in physical science class, these guys were your energy pumps. These guys are maximizing your ability to do cellular exchange, making sure that the body is producing energy, mental clarity, healthy recovery, and communication throughout the tissues and handling and managing stressors that are coming at you day in and day out. So good quality food, good quality oxygen equals good output of ATP or adenosine triphosphate. When damaged, however, and you have a lot of buffers to make sure that this doesn't happen, but when you live in a culture filled full of inflammation, and this is coming from everywhere, water we drink, air we breathe, food we eat, things we smell, toxins are accumulating. And essentially, these are poisons that are poisoning our bodies. These cause your body to mismanage blood sugar, insulin, hormones like your adrenal stress hormones. And when blood sugar spikes are uncontrolled and dysregulated, you're going to see your body craving junk food. And when you eat junk food, or if you're getting into and don't even realize it, poisons, aka what I like to call the crap, CRAP, that's excessive amounts of carbs, that's refined processed sugars, that's artificial ingredients and processed food, you start to sit back and realize, wow, this is poor nutrition. And the body cannot build a healthy system on poor nutrition. And if you are not having a good sleep routine that is consistent 7 days a week, you see, your body needs sleep more than you realize. It might be behind air. One of my favorite areas to help people get right is, man, air is important. Sleep is a close second, then food. Frankly, number 3 for me would be water, then sunlight and food. You know what I mean? So you don't need to eat as much as you realize. Not that food's not important, but I always will say what you eat's important, but what you don't eat is what? More important. That's a great nugget to put in your hat. Your energy production drops when your body's inflamed, or you're filled full of toxins, or you're not getting good food and nourishment to the system, and you're going to feel fatigued. So we want to help you see how important your mitochondria are. And again, 38 trillion cells, multiple mitochondria inside the cells for production and running energy processes day in and day out, from your brain down to every tissue, cell, organ, gland in the body, from your toes to your nose. If you want to perform well, recover well, think well, process well, you've got to get these systems working for you. So why coffee isn't fixing it? Why energy drinks aren't fixing it? Well, oftentimes high caffeine products stimulate the adrenals. Well, they're already tired. You're kicking a dead horse. So this masks exhaustion. It works, but the reality is when you take in excessive amounts of caffeine, it can dehydrate you via the loss of minerals. it can cause a spike in cortisol. I was at a party this weekend and I saw, one of my friends and those people drinking coffee. I said, "Are you going to drink some coffee?" He goes, "No, man, I couldn't even have a sip of that stuff. I can't even have tea. It'll keep me up." That means he's already pushing the adrenal overload button because a little bit of coffee stimulant purges and prods his body into a spike of cortisol, a spike of adrenaline, and so his body's already given him check engine lights to not do that. And so when we look at how to repair the mitochondria, we have to fix nutritional deficiencies. We have to restore adrenal rhythms. And that is how we start our day. That's how we end our day. That's what we're doing throughout our day. It's all day long, this process. And it's like, reviving a broken engine. I have to get in there while the engine's running and repair the processes so that your system can perform like God designed it to. It wants to perform for you, it just can't. So, where do we go from here? The blood sugar connection. Energy crashes often equal blood sugar crashes. If you have energy output dysfunction or dysregulation, oftentimes blood sugar crashes happen regularly. And now, not everybody experiences shaky symptoms, but a lot of people do feel irritable and hangry, so to speak. They feel brain fog and they feel that mental processing speed dip. And when you feel that, that just means your blood sugar is not stable. When you have stable blood sugar, you have stable energy. And you go, "Well, I'm eating all the sugar I can." I had this sign one time at an event and it says, "Why do I crave sugar?" And I was trying to teach people about adrenal health. But what I discovered is people were just ornery. They would say, "Oh, because it tastes so good." Well, that was because I was at a strawberry, patch strawberry cake factory event. And why was I there? Well, because people there are addicted to sugar and they didn't realize they had unstable blood sugar. That's what was causing them to crave the sugar and make their body feel irritable and shaky. And that's why they weren't able to control their cravings, because they kept giving in to the sugar symptoms. And so we have to help people realize that if you're emotionally burdened, if you're up late at night, and frankly, if you are a shift worker, if you're overworked, if you're dehydrated, if you're malnourished, your emotional stress buttons are going to be pushed more easily. Your ability to manage stress is going to be less. Your ability to get through your day without, controlling what your frontal lobe processes, you might find yourself not setting good boundaries to protect yourself. Fatigue, guys, isn't weakness. It's overload. It's a sign that your body is overloaded. I like to say tired is relieved with rest. Fatigue is not. So if you are fatigued and you cannot get through your day, or you feeling a lot of these types of symptoms and you're irritable and overwhelmed and anxious often and always, that means you're in that 7 to 10 zone on the 0 to 10 stress scale. And that means your body is heading towards adrenal fatigue. That is not a good place to be. So, recovery strategy. We need to rebuild your energy pathways. We need to strengthen your energy recovery pathways. How do we do that? We stabilize your nervous system. We stabilize your blood sugar. We stabilize mitochondria. Well, some of the ways that we can do this is we can make sure that we start our day right so we can end it right. One of my favorite things to do in the morning is, the stomach is most active between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. So if you eat a good protein hearty breakfast between 7 and 9, not a pastry loaded breakfast, not a carbohydrate driven breakfast, not a sugary breakfast, okay? Not putting sugar and junk food and processed ingredients into your coffee. This is true protein and healthy fats for breakfast. You will stabilize your blood sugar and retrain it. And it is like going to the gym. So some people can't make it. They can't do an intermittent fast for more than 5 hours after they wake up because their body's cortisol rhythms are so out of balance. Their adrenal stress, adrenaline rhythms are so out of balance. Their blood sugar is swinging high and low. They're on the ups and downs, yo-yo diets. They are dysregulated. So being able to go a intermittent fast 17-hour fasting window and not crash is a good indication of a baseline ability that your chemistry should be able to handle, because you have 5 hormones that raise your blood sugar. You have 1 hormone that lowers your blood sugar. But yet we live in a culture where insulin is abused and blood sugar is being violated and the body is being inflamed and heart disease is higher than ever. Brain dementia issues, mental clarity problems are more than I've ever seen. I've got kids that are 18, 15, 12 that are coming into into my office with ADD, ADHD, ODD, and every other DD that's out there that could cause the body, it could be relieved if the body was just performing better. If sugar was introduced into our society today, by the way, it'd be a controlled substance. So if you're eating sugary things or things that convert to sugar first thing in the morning, you're setting yourself up for long-term failure. This is a key ingredient in regulating your nervous system. Metals and chemicals from the environment, detoxification. If you're not detoxing in the 21st century, you're missing a huge piece of your healthcare plan. So in order to detox, to get your nervous system back, you got to detox the nervous system by detoxing the liver and the bowel and the kidneys and the lymphatic system. We do this regularly with people. So you can go check out our master's class or get on some of our calls and help yourself by educating yourself on how to do this work well. So this stuff flows out of my mouth because I practice it day in and day out regularly myself. Blood sugar imbalances are easy. Stabilize the blood sugar by eating more protein, healthier fats. There's a thing in your body called essential amino acids. There's a thing in your body called essential fatty acids, but there is no such thing as essential carbohydrates, essential sugar. There's none of those. Why is that? Because those things are inflammatory and your body makes it 5-to-1 pathways in your body to make blood sugar regulate itself through natural development, the way your body uses the energy, not through just simply packing in sugar from the diet. The mitochondria needs B vitamins. Well, if your gut lining is distressed and irritated, you can't make B vitamins. Heck, you can't make neurotransmitters because the brain, compared to the gut, there's 3 million more neurotransmitters in your digestive tract than there is in your brain. Why are they coming from? They're not just floating around down there. No, you have manufacturing facilities, manufacturing B vitamins, manufacturing neurotransmitters. And if you don't have good digestion, good absorption, good gut microflora, you won't have these pathways and manufacturing facilities nourished. Magnesium is at an all-time high in deficiency. Well, that's a problem. No wonder you got muscle aches. No wonder your body's anxious. No wonder you can't sleep at night. No wonder you can't stay asleep at night. CoQ10 drives the mitochondria to balance out. And this is going to help, the mitochondria finish some of those last stages of its cycle in order to produce the energy necessary. And of course, we've been talking about it this whole slide about protein. As you can tell, I can sit on this slide forever, but then you got sleep, and then you got stress reduction techniques. Healing is layered. It's not an overnight fix, and it's not just one thing. It is a combination of all these factors coming together so that your body isn't costing you good health points. So fatigue is costing you greatly. Chronic fatigue is dysregulating your mood. It's altering your marriage. It's affecting your parenting. It's causing your business performance to go down. It disrupts how you hear spiritually into the fifth dimension. Did you know that science has actually figured out where God lives in the body? And I think this is fascinating. I, being a Christian man, believe that, God is omniscient, omnipotent. He's everywhere, always and forever, for all along the eternity lifeline. And so interestingly, that science says the hypothalamus in your brain is where the where God lives. Well, okay, great. So science found a home for God. That is pretty cool. Well, if your mitochondria are dysregulated, did you know the hypothalamus is the mothership in communicating downstream to all the mitochondria in your body? So if your mitochondria are dysregulated, it is likely that your hypothalamus is dysregulated. And if you've got emotional stress in your life, your hypothalamus is being stressed. If you had trauma, emotional trauma, physical trauma, that is all denting the hypothalamus and overregulating the hypothalamus. And it will skew, when it's hurt, how you see and operate in the world you live in. Therefore, you can change how you see through a better lens if you get your hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenals, thyroid rather, adrenals, and your gonadal system working in good working order. And then you will hear better, see better into the fifth dimension. That is the true, what I call euphoric Camelot that I want to take people to, is where they begin to hear differently, see differently, experience differently, speak differently, perform differently all the days of their life while they're here in the nasty now and now. Because the nasty now and now, there's trash everywhere. There's always something that you're having to avoid, something that you're having to restrict. And not because life is unfair, but because control, because of sin, because of bad decisions, because we are naturally prone to be a little bit narcissistic in our way, we have to constantly submit to our own flesh and surrender our will to the Lord in order to see that we need to do things different. But the world is saying, no, conform, do that this way. And oh, by the way, we're going to control the narrative. And oh, by the way, we're going to control the food. He who controls the narrative and the food controls the world. And so low energy sometimes is because the world is pressing on you. And when failure is on all four corners, man, you have to have a spirit of faith. And if you don't have a good, healthy biochemistry and your body's hurting and you're tired and you're mentally unclear, it's hard to have a positive outlook, a faithful outlook on life. It just is. And then your resilience drops. Your stress continues to perpetuate into the negative. Your body wasn't designed to live under this type of stress. It looks like this person is on their way to an early grave, an unnecessary suffering, if you will. Can I talk about that anymore? You don't have to stay exhausted, guys. At drchapawellness.com, we help people identify root cause health. We help people identify where their hormones are out of balance. We help people re-regulate their dysregulated mitochondria. Hopefully you walk away from tonight, you know how to say the word mitochondria, and you know that it produces energy or energy pumps or ATP or adenosine triphosphate. Hopefully you walk away from tonight going, wow, so the crap needs to come out and good protein needs to come in, good healthy fats need to come in order to avoid the nutritional gaps. And I need to recognize where I'm at on the stress pathway. 0 to 10, 7 to 10 is problematic. It needs intervention. That's what we do, by the way. We will intervene and help you get this right, but we need you not to push harder, but to think smarter and to make sure that you are getting dialed into what we're doing day in and day out. When you're tight to the clinic and you're working with me inside of our cohorts, you will see a better version of yourself perform. Beautiful thing. Hey, quiet. I know y'all get excited. Without further ado, guys, I hope that you guys will follow us on all of our social media handles. We're putting out fun material all the time on it to educate you and make you a better, stronger warrior for your family, for your marriage, for your business, for everything that you've been called to under God. I pray that you enjoy our master's class. So I pray that you take out your phone and you snap that QR code and go check it out. Like, challenge yourself to get through it. It's going to take some education for you to figure this stuff out. Stop running on empty, guys. Start running restored. And with my master's class, you will see a better version of you performing better, living better, thinking better, praying better, loving better all the days of your life. Thank you for tuning in. I hope that you enjoyed tonight's class. I'm excited to see where God takes us next week. Remember, every Monday night, 7 p.m., we are kicking butt, taking names, educating you how to live better, be better, and stay better. So follow us on our social media handles, join our master's class, get involved in our cohorts, and make sure that you stay tight to the community of wellness warriors, and you will love how you feel every 30 days, every month that goes by, every quarter, every year, and you will keep performing well. Remember, Dr. Chapa loves you. Until next time, God bless you.